Love you, bro. Hey, Donald, this is Clark. Hey, if you get a chance, could you give me a call back, please? Love you, bro. I want to talk to you about the house. Hey, Donald, this is Clark. Love you, bro. Hey, Donald, this is Clark. Love you, bro.
Hi, I'm Trevor.
Hi, I'm John.
And you are listening to this week's episode of Caps. I already fucked it up.
Oh, wow. Nice job.
Yeah.
Nice job.
We're sitting here with the famed, great hero of mine, Matt Hamm3r.
Hi.
It's my cousin.
I'm waving.
Audio.
Yeah, I realized. Mine's all audio, too. I still wave.
That's right. We shake hands at the end.
John, I'm hoping this comes out really well because when we did our first podcast with Dylan, you met him like 5 minutes before we started.
Yeah.
And now you've got like 12 minutes.
You walked in the door and we did
You've got 12 minutes with him, so I'm hoping it just takes off. Yeah.
It's got to be even better now.
Hopefully it's just more clicking.
It's okay. We can cut all this out. It's not
okay.
The dead air is not a worry for us.
Yeah, for me it is because I don't. I'm the editor, so I just don't care. I'm like, if there's names or words that we shouldn't be saying, or
like the N-word,
like the N-word 40 times in succession.
The N-word
without even stopping to breathe.
Offensive words. That's all that I edit out.
Do you curse in your podcast?
A lot.
Okay.
So, way too much.
Do you edit them each curse word out or just
no?
Okay.
No. I don't edit the curse word because if I did that, there would be no content.
And the occasional heck or darn in there.
What the heck, bro?
If you don't believe in gosh, you're going to heck.
Now, Trevor, is there a reason that he's on the podcast today?
No.
Just like Dylan, just like Josh.
I just happened to be
useless
here.
Characters in our lives.
I pulled him in. I was like, "Holy shit! Is that him? Is that?
Oh my god!
Hey, come in here. We're about to record."
Is he outside my house?
No,
I didn't know he knew where I lived.
So you're a musician and a podcaster.
So. Yes.
You're a musician, and you do make music, and that's kind of why we're here.
Yes.
Is because tonight we're starting to film. Is it your first music video?
Yes. I'm putting a question mark at the end of that because
elaborate.
Well, in high school, because we did a little project in high school where you had to make this song about economics, and so I very shittily edited together a very shitty.
How does one rap about the economy?
Well, you don't? That's my nightly routine.
Yeah,
I'm not doing the dishes.
Just doing the dishes, going off about how much you hate
inflation, supply and demand.
Yes.
So anyway, you had to make a rap about economics.
Yes, and so everyone in my group's like, "Oh, hey, we'll record the music video with you in it. All you got to do is make it." So I produced the entire beat myself, and then I wrote all of it myself, and then I had my best friend right behind me. Which was really awkward because I'm just sitting and doing my thing, and he's over there trying not to laugh his ass off. He's like, because I sound like a fucking retard without any music. I mean, I sound like a retard.
Yeah, I can hear that right
now. Thanks, guys.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
You can't set him up like that.
No,
it's too easy.
Yeah,
it's like pistol whipping a blind kid.
Oh my god.
God damn.
Never heard that one before.
Damn.
Was he doing anything particular behind you, or was he just
standing there?
No,
Weekend at Bernie's.
I think he was playing Fortnite, and he's trying
in
not
the video, in the music video.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. While I was recording the song, I'm pretty sure he was playing Fortnite, but I told him to go play somewhere else because I'm like, dude, you're laughing, it's getting in the audio, and it's messing it up. He's like, fine.
So what were you doing besides rapping in this video for economics? I think it's important to investigate in this.
Hold up.
For later events.
In the intro, two of the people in the group were walking down and saying, they're not ready for an economics test. And then I come out of nowhere, I'm hiding behind this little concrete wall that's slanted in the high school parking lot where I'm from. And so as soon as they get about 5 feet away from it, I jump out and say, "Don't worry, I got you."
What's up? I'm Dow Jones. I'm here to educate.
I feel
I'm
bad.
saying, dude, thinking like, do I know anything about the economy? I know that.
It's been too long without an economy joke, so that hit me hard.
What's sad is that I don't understand the joke. But
So what else? What did your lyrics consist of? You had to recall. You had to recollect something from the economics teaching in the class.
Yeah,
to be able to translate it, because I know you weren't like rapping about how the economy like ties into drive-bys and lines.
I'm not that deep into my. I wasn't that deep into my lyrics yet. Okay,
fuck 12, more like fuck 12% down on this week's stocks.
Would you call this the awakening? Now, what's your official rap name? Is it Matt Hamm3r, or why do I see like the Calypso in between your name on Instagram?
Okay, so
because I keep wanting to call you Calypso because like Matt Calypso Hamm3r.
Yeah. So Matt Hamm3r, there's a reason why it's spelled with a 3 instead of an E.
I noticed that. And
Yes.
absolutely everything.
Yes.
Which relies on it being a text thing, because it's not as cool. Because like, you say dead mouse, and it's like. They're like, what? And they're like, no, you got to see there's like a 5.
There's like a 5 in
something
there.
in there.
And then an AU in there. It's dead mouse, I swear.
We're still not sure about the mouse's condition.
But go on.
So for the 3, there's a reason there's a 3 in there. The 3 is to kind of show different sides of what I want to accomplish musically. Like, Calypso is going to be more of a raw and talking shit kind of vibe, I guess you could say. Not necessarily vibe, but more lyrics wise, it's going to be more talking shit. It's more kind of what we're going to be filming. It's more of just that, just flaunting and talking shit.
Who are you talking shit to?
Everyone. Fuck everyone,
okay.
man.
You know what?
My cousin.
Amen.
Fuck that guy. He said shitty music on his podcast.
Yeah.
That cat that was here last week, fuck him too.
I'll get to that in a second.
All right.
We're getting down to the meat and potatoes.
Did Calypso come from anywhere, or did you just like the name?
No, I mean, I played a lot of Borderlands.
The Lemonade?
No. The Lemonade's good, though. I played a lot of Borderlands 3 recently, and what kind of got me into that was just thinking, like, hey, these characters are trying to find a secret, or not secret, it's a vault. That's what they're called in the games.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to find this vault, and they're trying to do it through actually live streaming, broadcast stuff to get the bandits of whatever planet that they are aiming to get that vault of, to essentially go and follow them and kill the 4 vault hunters. And the four vault hunters are the main characters, the characters you play as. So I really liked kind of like the concept. The storyline wasn't great, unfortunately. Still love it to death though. But I like the concept of it. And then I also started, whenever I started actually writing the song Calypso, I say I've been trapped inside for 19 years. It's kind of like a throwback, or not throwback, it's more of a mention towards the Calypso of Greek mythology, even though that's a girl and
they're yucky. They got cooties.
Oh my god, disgusting.
You know what? Iron Man's a girl now. Shit changes. So right, you played Borderlands and you're like, now I have to rap.
Well, no, because I was already making music before that. Right. Yeah, way before that.
But that's where you got the idea for the song Calypso, and then...
That's where I kind of got the name of Calypso, because I was like, oh, I want to do more in it. I want to know more about these characters, because it's a Calypso twins. So I wanted to get more in depth about the characters, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool name. I'm going to use it. Fuck it. So that's one part of the 3. Another part of the 3 is Matt Hamm3r with an E. Make sure I say that.
Right, not the 3.
So you're not
without
confused.
The 3.
Yeah,
That's,
without the 3. It's
one of
an
the
actual
3
E.
is one without the 3.
Yeah. That one is more of a, I'm going to talk about my real life, after I've gone through of kind of just dealing with it. It's more of just like, just trying to, I guess, finally relieve that memory. So that's more of my shitty first song that I hate so much.
Anna?
Yeah.
Hey, Anna's my favorite.
That's good for you. I fucking hate it.
You know what? I kind of hate the first episode of Caps Off, so we all have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I hate our first movie
Liver.
that we did together. Yeah.
I think if you don't end up hating the stuff that you've done in the past, and that means you're not improving.
Yeah, you're never going to get anywhere. And the thing about it, like, almost consequently, is everything new that Trevor and I do, or I do independently, or he tells me that he's doing, I'm like, that's groundbreaking. That's how are we not in mansions yet? And then we do it, and we're like, this
is why we're not mansions
this
yet.
is one of the stepping stones, and I'm a humble man. And this was a learning event.
If you think that you just do something for the first time and knock it out of the park home run, then you're obviously a lot more blind to how progress works. So I think it's a good thing that you hate your first song, because that just means that you've come
a lot farther.
Yeah, a lot farther since then.
Yeah, so that's where that kind of gets from. And then the last one is, I guess, Lil Meezy. I'm not really convinced. I'm not convinced on the last name
Can you spell
yet.
that for me, real quick?
L1LM33ZY.
So not an I.
No.
But a 1.
Of course not.
Yeah.
So we're sticking with the number thing.
Yeah.
I like that. L1L.
The only vowel Matt Hamm3r likes is A.
Yes.
Except for that third of him that allows the E to come in. But that's just when it's getting personal.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's when it's real. So it's L1LM.
Yes. 33.
33, right.
ZY.
Fuck the E. ZY. Okay.
But I'm not really convinced on the actual
You know why
name.
sometimes a vowel, right?
Yeah, but in that case, it's not.
Where you get,
Question mark?
that's the time that it's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is.
Like
In
why?
Lil Meezy, we're fuck
ignoring
with
the
that
Y.
shit. You're a consonant.
What? Am I gonna put like
we're not
pick a
gonna
side. You can't have
overcomplicate
both.
it.
I gotta put a 4?
Yeah.
4 would be better as an A
Yeah. Well, yeah.
if they were all
Well,
caps.
it'd depend on the 4, because like the 4 written like
That's a sticky
yeah,
situation.
like a Y, and then there's one
okay, I
written
see
like
where
an
you're coming
A.
from. Yeah.
So I guess it'd depend on how the 4 is put.
Fuck vowels. I hate them. All my homies hate vowels.
Oh, speaking of that, whenever you guys posted that, it was like not even 2 days after like Jimmy Fallon got canceled on Twitter.
Oh,
So I was
really?
like, is this about Jimmy Fallon?
I kind of thought that was
Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
He
I didn't hear anything about that. I didn't know
He
this was
got
a
in
thing.
trouble because of a
Resurfacing
It
of
was
blackface.
a sketch on SNL where he wasn't just blackface. He was playing Chris Rock.
That's a little more dangerous.
He was playing Chris
Was he
Rock.
doing the bit that I think he was doing?
I don't know.
The 2 types of black people one that Michael Scott did?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He was in a sketch, and there was I can't remember what his name is, but he was playing Regis Philbin, and he's like I'm really not about to do a Chris Rock impression because I feel like that's just going to get us worse than Jimmy Fallon is right
you're
now.
good.
But he basically says he basically says I love.
They can't see that you're wearing blackface right now.
Right.
Yeah, nor can they really tell because neither of us have a following.
Revenge of the Blackface. So, but he basically says to Regis, he's like, I love, what's the show? Something Millionaire. Do you want to be a millionaire?
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah, there you go.
Like, that show has gone to the reaches of my brain.
The Regis of your brain.
So, but he's basically like, I love the show, but I noticed not a lot of black people on the show, and that's like the joke, and he's like roasting Regis. But the thing is it was in 2001, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Where I'm not saying that blackface was okay in 2001. I'm just saying
It was a different time.
it seems a little funny because obviously in 2020 you shouldn't do anything even remotely close to blackface.
No.
In 2021 2001, they aired that live. They took the time to write it. They put him in the makeup.
It went through several people before hitting.
Yeah, multiple of
live
those
TV.
people on SNL staff being African Americans.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. All across this part of the cast is African American.
You don't hear that they all quit the day after the
Yeah,
episode aired.
exactly. So I just don't think it's Like, I mean, maybe if Jimmy Fallon would have come out and been like, hey guys, look at this thing I found, that would have been like a wishy-washy thing, because I think like it's 50-50. He would have been able to like get past it by being like, so I did this back in 2001 and I want to apologize for it, but somebody called him out and that's why he basically got in trouble. But,
yeah.
So, but I don't really know if I think he should have gotten in that much trouble. I think maybe just like, because Jimmy Fallon.
I kind of want to see what Jimmy Fallon looks like.
2020 Jimmy Fallon knows that you shouldn't do blackface.
Yeah, you hear a lot about him being like a super friendly guy, like to the point where he'll pass up some jokes to be like, it's just a little too mean for how I want to come off.
Right.
So, he's probably learned the lesson.
I don't know who wrote the sketch. I think that might be
Rock.
I
want Jimmy Fallon.
Question.
Nobody else.
Only
20
Jimmy
years
Fallon.
is going to bite him in the ass. That asshole.
So while you were looking up Jimmy Fallon in blackface, a few weeks ago you sparked a conversation like many of the ones that we have, where it's. Oh, did you find it? Doesn't it look exactly like Chris Rock?
I don't like looking at that one bit.
It's funny because it doesn't look anything like. It looks like Chris Rock if you like that meme where you like bonk him on the head with a ham mallet.
Oh, I hate that.
But anyway, so we will start a conversation. And then we will quickly end it because we're like, well, this is something that we want to talk about. First of all, in person. Second of all, possibly on the podcast, which I appreciate about that. Sometimes both of us, we just know that it's going to be one of those things. And what was funny about this one is you, without any context before this, I don't think we had ever.
That's
wow.
annoying.
How professional.
It came from my computer. I didn't know they were linked. Fuck Gabby. All my homies hate Gabby.
You sent me. We had never talked about Beastie Boys previous to this. I don't think we had one conversation about Beastie Boys previous to this. But you sent me a meme, and it was just a picture of a metal, the type of metal being brass monkey.
Yeah,
and it was just captioned "brass monkey."
That funky monkey.
Yeah, precisely. Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
Which I don't know if you expected me to find as amusing as I did.
I thought because
did you know did you kind of think like everybody's heard that song?
That, and it only popped up in my brain was this funny because like 2 days before I was listening to the R&H radio program and he played Brass Monkey and I was like, I remember that song, and then I found the meme and I was like, look at that. John's probably heard that song.
Like, I had heard the song, but I hadn't listened to that episode yet, so it wasn't fresh in my mind. But it made me laugh because, A, I obviously have heard the song, but B, it triggers, like, a memory.
Right, which I'm excited to hear about.
That I hadn't thought about in a long time. And didn't you say that you also had a story that related to Brass Monkey?
No.
Or did you? Oh, were you just...
That's just
kidding?
I don't think I ever had a story.
I swear to God, you said
I think it's on the other end of the spectrum, but you haven't said... What the story is. It's related to that story.
Oh, it's related to what is okay.
Yeah, to what. So go ahead and say it because I know he's dying to hear it.
Well, what it was is
I'm just really confused.
Oh, just wait, you're gonna love this.
So he sent a picture of the brass monkey, and I said that it brings back a haunting memory of the first time I fingered a girl.
Oh, wait a second.
To that song, and I've been dying to hear this story.
I fingered a girl to the Beastie Boys Brass Monkey. Actually, I know you hate copyright, but I'm just gonna play a little bit of it. If you want to take a second to...
It's okay. It's not like you're gonna get copyright claimed.
Yeah, nobody knows who I am.
The early days West had music on every episode.
Yeah, the early days of Telling Steve Dave did the same thing.
I think actually one of my songs. I think one of my songs did get copyright claimed because I was using a free beat off of YouTube, but I was like, I'm not gonna make any money off of it anyways. I didn't want to, but it was like, why copyright claim?
Of course, I gotta see like, a Grubhub ad first.
What am I gonna get? Like
102
okay. views?
There's only one ad this time. So if you haven't heard the song, this is. I hope that's not too loud.
It's probably fine.
It's okay. Distortion's fine.
So anyway, you get it. Look it up. Brass Monkey, fucking Beastie Boys. You should already know it. Like, I don't have to. Yeah. Why do I have to carry this for you?
If you haven't fingered a girl to that song, you haven't lived.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, I haven't. First of all, second of all, I also didn't know what Mambo number 5 was.
You didn't know what Mambo number 5
really?
was?
No, until my dad explained it to me. He's like, it's a song about just fucking all these women. And I was like,
Monica,
what?
Sandra, Rita.
no, and then he starts singing. I was like, I know that song.
Yeah.
He's like, that's Mambo number 5.
Every time I hear Mambo number 5, I think of one movie and one movie alone, and that's Stuart Little.
Why Stuart Little?
Remember that guy? The guy who plays House as the dad, and fucking wasn't it Michael J. Fox as the voice of Stuart?
I don't know.
Pretty sure it is Marty
right,
McFly.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Brass Monkey.
That funky monkey.
That funky monkey. My first girlfriend, my first real, like, serious girlfriend, I've commonly referred to as my Jan, and that's like a reference to The Office.
Yeah.
If you know
You've
The
referred
Office.
to her. I don't even remember. I think you said her real name to me maybe 2 or 3 times. Whenever you talk about your Jan.
I
don't even know her real
Voldemort
name.
At this point. But, so,
not to be named.
yeah, my Jan, used to come over a lot, and like with a regular relationship, you progress through doing stuff with your first girlfriend, boyfriend,
sure, naturally.
partner, whatever. Yeah. So we kind of went in like what you would imagine what the steps would be, like making out, then the touching and shit, and then eventually to fingering, right?
Thank you.
And
thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for the escalation.
I figured I pulled out the Brass Monkey example. I might as well continue to hold people's hands through the story.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my bedroom never had doors. Nobody had doors really in our house. So everyone had sheets instead of doors. And nobody had doors.
Yeah, Mom, we'll just be in my room listening to Brass Monkey over and over again.
Only Brass Monkey. That funky monkey.
Maybe Mambo number 5.
The worst part about this is I wasn't the one playing Brass Monkey. See, I don't want to paint my parents. I want to paint my parents in a bad image. But they liked the drink, the old sauce, much like your father did once upon a time.
The dead one.
Yeah, the dead one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they like to have the occasional drink, and you can never have drink without blaring music, right? I mean,
sure.
It's one of the rules of physics. You have to blare music out of the largest speakers you could find at the IKEA whenever you ingest alcohol. So it was like a regular thing where on the weekends they would play loud music and drink, and she came over on this one, and that was one of the main reasons I got away with a lot of the stuff, is because my parents would always be in some other part of the house cooking, drinking, hanging out, doing what they do, but always blaring loud music. And now, do you remember back when everybody thought the first zombie was on the planet, but it turned out to be that guy in Florida who took bath salts and munched on a cop's face?
Yeah, I remember that.
My mom... now, I think you're going to find this story particularly interesting because of your knowledge of Brian Johnson and his mother, Pam Johnson. But my mom is also what... I don't know if you're aware of what is a Wiccan. Do you know what a Wiccan is?
I don't think so.
It's basically like the Christian version of a witch.
Okay.
Which there's all kinds of of course there's astronomy as part of it, and then there's like the stones and herbs and sages and all that fancy ass Wiccan bullshit.
Okay.
So around this time, that was a lot of bad energy in her mind, which she kind of switches back and forth between what she's going to be. Sometimes she's a very reformed Christian. Mm-hmm. Sometimes she's straight up stirring a big vat of green goo with eyeballs in it and shit. And sometimes she's in between. And right now I'd call this the in-between point, where she's still doing Wiccan shit, but she's not going overboard, unless you would count this situation. So picture me and my Jan, my first girlfriend, the first girl that I've ever gotten somewhat intimate with. And the only thing separating me between my parents and her vagina is a sheet and loud Beastie Boys Brass Monkey.
Funky monkey.
Right, and of course that's not my first choice of songs to finger a girl, but I mean, as a person who's been in that situation, you have to understand that you are trying new things, is experiencing things, or elevating. You're just gonna take what you can get.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I'm not gonna let this opportunity go to waste.
You're not gonna put.
Even if the Beastie Boys are singing in my ear,
you're not gonna put in like a request with the DJ or anything. So I start with the deed of working on my jam.
Sure. Yeah.
When I did this, I always made sure to have like the lights off. I would have the TV off because the only noise I want to hear is the noise.
Beastie Boys.
Yeah, that's all you want to hear is Beastie Boys.
Yeah. Just shut up. Let me hear the music.
Like as clear as white noise in an empty room. No, I turn off all the everything in my room because I want to hear what's going on in the other parts of the house. Because if I'm finger blasting in here, I don't want someone. If someone's on their way to my room, I want to be on guard.
Finger blasting.
Yeah. So the music was too loud this time though, because none of that mattered because my mother made her way into the room in the middle of this. But luckily the lights were off. It was late in the day, like around 6 o'clock, so the sun was low. It was dark enough in my room because I also had a sheet over the fucking window, like I did like heroin. Just because I never liked the sun growing up. I always had like as much sun kept out of the rooms as shit.
Yeah, it stings.
More details don't matter.
Yeah, but my question is, why'd you come to Arizona? That's only sun.
You're like 17 episodes behind.
Right. It's been a while, okay?
We'll talk about that. I don't think you talked about it on this. I think you talked about it on John Gone West.
Probably. We'll circle back eventually. I'm going to make them work for it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I didn't touch that with a $500 dildo.
Okay, well...
It's nothing special.
It's nothing special, but if you want like some like extra content, some... what many would describe as like unseen footage. If you like Caps Off,
John refused to start Caps Off with me until I listened to all of John Gone West. And even then, he wanted me on an episode. That was like his podcast before this to keep his old family like up to date with his life. And he wanted to have me on it, and he didn't like. What am I trying to say? Oh, he wouldn't have me on it until I listened to like the first few episodes at the very least.
Yeah.
And then that episode never even got released. It's the Caps Off hidden episode.
The hidden episode. You were supposed to release it a few months ago, but you never did.
I didn't want to.
I don't know why.
Work.
You want to keep it in the vault then?
Oh yeah, it'll come up. It'll come up
someday.
I have a podcast episode that'll probably forever be in the vault.
Is that the one that you talk about in the first episode?
I think so.
You guys say something about like it's technically episode 2, and we're gonna ignore that.
Yeah.
So anyway, my mom, she bursts in the room, right? The room's dark. I don't quite slide my hand out of the pants because it's an over the pants kind of situation. I'm not taking any risks. I'm not a professional by any means here.
Right.
But there also is like a thin blanket over us so that, you can't directly see like hand under jean.
Yeah.
But what you do see is us laying like almost face to face in the bed,
which is not like
she's worse.
Yeah, she's definitely. You're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, but the beauty of this is any other day she'd be right on top of that too. She would not allow that. But not only was she hammered, she was so into her superstitions. She had a bundle of sage that she was burning around my room, and she just, I guess, thought we were sleeping. But she's just going and like dashing. Have you ever seen witches do that, where they like get a bundle of sage leaves and herbs and shit, and they like tie it up with like a leather rope and shit, and they just burn one end and basically just like cast away bad energy and spirits and shit. Yeah. So she's like dazzling over this me while I'm like hand still basically in my current girlfriend. Pretending to sleep, and she's like dashing away the demons above the sinning that I'm committing below her. All while brass monkey, that chunky monkey is, I cannot, blaring, absolutely blaring. They only knew one volume, and that was like 2 past what the capacity of the machine that they're playing the music on is capable of.
Yeah.
So that's why that's my brass monkey story.
Wow.
That's the first time I fingered a girl.
Very nice, very nice. For me, it was in a movie theater. to
Really?
Goosebumps. I was staring right at Jack Black. Jack Black's stupid face. I love Jack Black, but
Goosebumps.
when I'm trying to get busy.
The movie?
Yes.
Yeah, it had Jack Black.
I haven't seen it.
He played R.L. Stein.
For some reason, like in the first thought in my head, I don't know why it went there. I thought of Ghostbusters for a second. I was like, in Ghostbusters?
So I love me a good Ghostbusters.
You did it in a public place.
It was a dark public place. There was nobody in the...
goody two-shoe Trevor, Mr.
Now look what
Can't
you
do
did.
any wrong. Mr. I follow all the laws.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I
It's
saw
like
you
you
run
said-
that red light yesterday.
This was an opportunity, and this was an opportunity I wanted to take, and I was like, you know what?
I don't care if they're blaring Brass Monkey through this theater. I'm getting deep. So, is that all that is story?
That's it. That's all I need to tell
You gotta
man.
tell me more.
I don't have to tell you anything. I don't know you shit.
Oh my God. I don't know you shit.
Why, yada.
I don't care who it was. I don't care. I need to know.
It's weird, because you know
Obviously,
who it
she was okay with it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying
I
it was
hope
completely, like, forced, but it was, like, was it, like, also...
Trevor, can we wait for a scene where Jack Black's not in it? And I'm like,
Like,
please, I need this. I need this.
I need this.
I need to become a man.
I need him on the screen. He's rooting for me.
He's my hero.
What? What are you having a stroke for?
It's too gray for me right now.
There doesn't need to be anything else. That's it.
Over the seat, under like the armrest.
You don't need to know. You weren't there. It's my experience.
I fucking detailed
You think I'm
my
lying?
story very
You think
well
I'm lying
for
to you? Is that what you're implying?
No, I don't. Well, no, I don't think you're lying. I just I don't like how gray it is in my mind.
Well, just make up some random unicorn shit. Now, you know, he's lifting up the armchair. He's just going full pants.
Yeah.
Well, if it's going to be up to my imagination, you're basically like punching her in the crotch. Just,
Well, I was a 15-year-old, so that sounds about right.
oh my God.
Is this how it works?
So you're 15. I was 14 when I lost
Oh,
my
look at
virginity.
fucking John over here.
Yeah,
He's
you
so
jerked that cock.
boy.
Look at this. He thinks he's so cool. You think you're
Yeah.
better than me.
Well,
You know what?
Yeah.
it was years before you were 15 too.
Years.
Year before you were 15
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I was light years ahead of you. Light year
year.
ahead of you.
That's it.
You're not going to tell me any more of that
That's
story.
all right. I don't think I need.
How about you, Matt? Your first finger blast.
I don't know.
It has happened, right?
Yeah.
Amen. All right.
Good conversation.
Yep. I think it actually happened before.
Before I came in here today.
Yeah.
In the car.
Yeah. I just finger blasted myself. It's fine.
She's like,
Two knuckles doesn't
sure
count,
we
it's
need
not
to do
gay.
this right now? We can wait till afterward. He might ask. He might ask. What if one of them has a story? I bet he's 14.
It's probably something a little more
so you're
comfortable.
saying it probably happened before he was
Before-
15?
No.
Before
he lost his virginity. I don't know if he even lost his virginity.
That's classified information.
All right.
Is it a fun story, or is it just
No.
like...
It was
no?
very just straight up. Things got heated.
Where was it? Like in a bedroom, or
No.
under a bridge?
No, it was.
Mountain?
Oh God. I'm sorry, Dad.
We
Sorry,
don't have
Dad.
to talk about this. We can.
No, we have to
It's
talk
fine.
about it.
It's
We can.
fine.
Are you? If you're, as long as you're okay.
Yeah,
I want
I'm
you to be
fine. I don't
comfortable.
care. I don't care, dude. I talked about.
Sorry, Uncle Matt.
He's a vicious rapper. He could talk about his first finger blast.
I talked to my dad about a $500 dildo that me and my best friend were gonna buy if we were gonna move in together, just to have so if one of us got lucky, we could just whap it on the other.
I'm sure explaining Mambo number 5 was harder than listening to this story. So.
Anyways, so
where was it? You haven't answered the question.
so it was in my 1995 Pontiac Firebird.
That's fine. I was worried you were
There
gonna
we
be
go.
like, I'm sorry, Dad. This is my dad's bed.
No, it's
Is it
more of
his
just
cereal?
because it's more of like a respect for my parents. I don't want to let them know, hey.
I totally get that.
Was that like their car or something?
No, it was
at
mine.
some point. Okay.
Well, technically it was theirs. It was in their name, but I was the
Right.
only one who drove it. I was the one who paid for it.
Okay. Well,
Essentially
then
my car.
You have all the right to fucking
Yeah.
finger a cow in there if you want.
No, I
Essentially.
get that. I get that. I didn't do a lot of stuff in my parents' house just because
Yeah.
I knew that it's out of respect.
Yeah.
So I feel that.
Just wait for him to leave. Not when they're in the house, duh.
No, but that's about it. But I do have a before that happened. I got close with my best friend, a girl.
Because you've referenced some best friends already in the time we've talked, and they've all been keys.
No, went up about an inch.
No, because so we did cheer, right? And so we
you were a cheerleader.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow, a rapping finger blasting cheerleader.
I got the whole 9 yards.
Right.
Tell your wife to stay home today.
Football player, baseball player. Look, I did everything. So we would hang out with cheerleaders on the weekends every now and then, and me and him were like, you know what? Let's go hang out with this one. We go on and watch a movie.
I thought cheerleaders were supposed to hang out with like the football players.
He was a football player.
I was a football player.
Pay attention.
But I thought you were a cheerleader.
He was
I did both.
Oh, wow. A
Yeah.
man of many talents.
Yeah, not everyone was little John Van Hook and his...
Did you do both during the same game?
guided
like
literature.
Run over to the side and like... with
no.
pom-poms and then run over and continue to be quarterback.
Your guided literature brain can't comprehend doing multiple of these like big jock things.
Yeah.
No, whenever it came to cheer, whenever I wasn't playing varsity, that's whenever I was doing cheer for the varsity games. But once it came to that, I was strictly only football essentially, but did mainly competition. That's what we did. Anyway, so we were hanging out with one of the girls. It was like 3 weeks before competition, so we had to start getting closer just so we could be on our game and do our best that upcoming competition. And so we go to the movie theaters, me, him, and her, and we have this game with almost any girl that we hang out with, unless if one of us is dating them.
Is it called the Trump game?
No. No. It's called Can You Get
Viciously
Closer?
grab their vagina as fucking firmly as possible and run away.
No.
So it's called Can You Get Closer?
Yeah, it's called Can You Get Closer?
Closer
and so
to what?
I'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
We always ask permission from the girl, okay? And if they say no, we don't do it. We ask for consent.
Yeah. Respectively. He's a cheerleader, he's a rapper, he's a football player, he's not a rapist.
He's going to get your daughter's consent.
He's not a rapist.
Yeah. After she's 18.
No
not
rapist. A pedophile.
Not a pedophile, not a rapist. Not nothing, okay?
So
I'm glad we've established you're just a person, a normal person.
A normal person who doesn't do
as if
any
it's like
illegal
expected that, it's like most people are pedophiles and rapists.
Yeah.
We got to set this guy aside.
Like Takashi before he started fucking up.
Before he fucked a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the game is called Can You Get Closer? We ask them for consent. So whenever they say yes...
How does that... You got to give me an example. How does that question go?
Hey, do you want to try this game with us?
She doesn't know how to consent. She's going to pull out a controller.
No.
She said yes.
No. Then they would proceed to ask...
Of course I got consent.
Then they proceed to ask, what is it? And it's called Can You Get Closer? And they're like, can you guys, show me first? And then we go to her shoulder, and it's like, can you get closer? And we look at the best friend. And then he goes, can you get closer? She's like, oh, I get it. The next one of us goes straight to the tit. Can you get closer?
Wow. Whoa.
So you're saying you point to...
No,
put your finger on their body.
Them, yeah.
Just one finger? Or
just one finger.
Okay,
one finger. To start. Always,
right.
Can you get
You're a
closer?
gentleman. You don't rush in. And then
Until the third one where he goes straight for the tit. Is
it like...
Well, it progressively gets there.
So do you have a directive, or are you just to the nearest private part?
The nearest private part.
Okay. And so, at what point in the female's part of this game are they supposed to make the realization that you're going for their private part? And do they have the option to opt out at this point?
Yeah. If they say stop, we'll stop.
All right.
But none of them had said stop.
Okay. Right.
Just saying that.
It's spicy.
Anyways, so we're playing that in the movie theater. I don't even remember what movie we're watching. I think it was Suicide Squad.
You weren't missing anything.
Yeah. Of course you're fucking touching each other.
It was like the third time I went to watch it.
What? Why? Kept wanting to play Can You Get Closer?
No. Margot Robbie. Come on. Only good part about that movie.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Fair.
That's
Still haven't seen that movie, but I know.
She's got a full frontal nude scene.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
Look.
I'd take the pregnant one from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood before fucking Harley Quinn. Yeah.
Well, anyways, we would it was nobody was in there. Yeah, I know. It's because it's probably a shooting movie.
Yeah. No wonder no one was in there.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
But it was also like 30 minutes before the preview started.
Oh, okay.
No other movie was on. For some reason, it was just dead.
Gotta get the touching while the touching's good.
Yeah. So we were just messing around like, hey, can you get closer? Can you get closer? And my friend at that time, or he's still my friend.
Right.
Right. He's all like, because he was telling me, he's like,
he got
you know
closer,
what?
we never talked again.
God rest his soul, he moved to Washington.
I killed him. Anyways, he's like, in his head, he's like, you know what? I know Matt won't do this. And then he goes straight right above the panty line.
Okay.
And
you're no pussy.
No.
You're no fucking coward.
No. This is while I was still an innocent boy. I still hadn't had my first kiss. I was so innocent. And I'm very competitive when it comes to games.
I have to win. I'm sorry, it's about the points.
I went about 2 inches below his, not touching the vagina, right above it. And then he's like, you know what, Matt, you win. He's like, I'm done.
He didn't even make it to the labia. What a pussy.
Well, that's because I don't think he expected me to like not go that far.
Right.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to me and like being I forgot what the word is called.
You got it. We're rooting for you.
This happens a lot.
A go-getter.
Yeah,
I think it's
sure.
a carrot.
A pussy snatcher.
Pussy snatcher. Competitive. That's the word.
Right. The
Me
one you
being
said a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it happens. Okay. I have so much stuff going on in my mind. You don't understand, bro. Me just being very competitive.
But you never got there. That was your almost.
Yeah, that was the almost.
And then okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the story.
That's the story. I love it. I was gonna say something and I totally fucking forgot what it was.
If you forgot, it probably wasn't important.
Yeah.
But no, it's that one of the it felt good, and it's like it's like a light inside you. You start feeling going more and more dim as it's getting further in the back of your head.
Like Jesus.
Yeah, like Jesus. Of course.
Precisely.
Jesus is always on my mind. Right.
Especially when Brass Monkey's playing.
Right, okay. Jesus. It's not the worst song I've finger blasted to, but it was definitely the most jarring.
Yeah.
Like at the time. And I could say, considering she was the one getting worked on, I think the experience was probably worse for her. Nothing to do with me.
God.
Everything to do with my mother towering over her with dangerous herbs on fire. I have I don't want to call it too serious. It's more of like it's serious. We never talk about sometimes we have genuine conversations. I don't think the last time we had one was like we were talking about when we wanted to make movies and shit like that. Yeah. Everything else,
which we've come really far with. I'm really happy that after that conversation we kind of kicked it in gear and started working toward that.
And non-coincidentally have almost wanted to talk about it less.
Yeah.
But
when you're doing it, you kind of want to occupy your stuff with your like the things when you're not filmmaking. I think it was just because we wanted to do it. We were like, this is what we're excited to do, and now we're doing it. So when we're not, it's easier to flow about stuff that's just not about that.
Right. Well, I had. I don't want to call it a repressed memory, but it's one of those memories where like it was so big that when you remember it after not thinking about it for a long time, it's like how did that ever not stay surfaced in my mind? You know what I mean? How is that somewhere down in the reaches? But the other day, my wife and I were talking about like bullying in school. She's talking about how she used to get bullied from elementary school to middle school, and then kind of not so much in high school, but still a little bit. You know, it happens. And it made me think, like, I don't really remember ever really getting bullied, but I was wrong, like, in my first thought there, because I had to sit there and think about it for a minute. Like, I probably did get bullied a lot, like a lot. And I know I could think of specific examples where I could think of something where you'd classify it as, like, someone being mean or bullying. But, like, to me, as a kid in that moment, I grew up with 2 older brothers and an older sister that was, like, she was in her late teens by the time I was going to elementary school. So it's like she had a whole other life. I was nothing to her.
I've got the similar,
you know what I mean?
The same thing where, like, I never considered myself like, I'm being bullied right now. I always thought of it just like, when I look back, I'm like, that was horrible. Yeah. But when it was happening, I just rolled with the punches. It didn't matter to me.
It's a really unique thing to have, because like it takes a guy to be able to just let it roll off and not really think about it too much. I don't know if I like was like brass when I was a kid, and like I don't really care what people say, but just like I would hear things.
That funky monkey.
Yeah. Thank you. Never misses a beat. Except for Hannah.
Right. Oh shit! Oh god! Oh god! That was great. That was great.
Thank you. Speaking of which, we have been slamming on him so much since these mics turned on. I have to give my head. The caps off this week is to Matt Hamm3r for being such a good sport.
Yeah.
But no, it never occurred to me in the moment that I was getting bullied. It always just like I remember one time.
It was good. I can't stop thinking about it.
I remember one time I was on the playground at elementary school, and I was walking by, and there was these 2 other kids who were like obviously like more wealthy or whatever, you know. They thought they were hot shit. I never really thought about classes until you look. You were just an
untouchable.
Yeah. But I'm walking by, and I got an itch in my nose, and so I go to itch it, and of course when you itch it like that, every kid in the fucking 30-mile radius is like, this guy's picking his nose. This guy's digging for gold right now. So of course they announced that to the whole playground, and I thought about that, and I was like, that's definitely like a bullying scenario. That's like with a not a weaker mind, but someone who would have looked into that more. Yeah. In the situation would have been affected like that probably long term. But me, for some reason, it just like water off a duck's back. I just kept going. I was like, fuck you, I'm not picking my nose, you know? Yeah. I'm just itching it. And then I went on, and it's like there's a lot of things that I really am glad that some of these memories are repressed, for lack of better terms. And I guess before I get into
probably not repressed, but more just like they're not important enough to you to have at the forefront.
Yeah. Well, the one that I want to talk about, I want you to tell me if you would define it as maybe a repressed memory when we're done. Okay. But yeah, like you just said, a lot of those I'm glad that they just didn't carry enough weight, that the opportunity that they could get lost, they got lost. So. But it made me, of course, when I was thinking about bullying, I thought about a situation that happened to me so long ago. I couldn't tell you how old I was, but it had to be like 1st or 2nd grade. I was a really young kid. Mm-hmm. I used to go to the school like during the summer, not in school hours. We used to go up to the school, which was like 3 blocks away from where we lived, with my brothers. We'd play at the playground. Blah blah blah. Same place that I got yelled at for fucking digging for gold. Sure. So,
quite the eventful common ground.
And a lot of things about this day are really hazy to me. But what I do remember is there was a lot of kids on the playground that day, because it's summer, and this is like the playground in the neighborhood, the beacon to children whose parents don't want them in their house because they're blaring Brass Monkey.
That funky monkey.
Yeah, that funky monkey. Thank you.
I'm here all day. Or the podcast.
Right. But on this day, I was playing, and there was a kid who was on this like spinny thing, and I wanted to play on that spinny thing, so I was waiting my turn. And I guess he saw that as like a threat, and I had seen this kid a few times before, and I think he was actually related to my neighbor, so I'd seen him in my like close neighborhood before. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really know them. But it was him and his brother. And his brother was the more like nice one, and he was obviously like the troubled one. Yeah. And so I'm waiting to get on the spinny thing, and he like takes that as a threat, I guess. Not like a threat, but like an offense. Like I'm rushing him. Like he's not getting his full enjoyment out of the spinny thing. You know, I can't enjoy the spinny thing when you're looking at me.
Well,
like
obviously
that.
You don't know how fun the spinny thing can be. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody who will appreciate the spinny thing should be spinning on the spinny thing.
Right. I am a spinny thing connoisseur, and if you were waiting for me to get done, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah.
You guys are making my head a spinny thing.
So, but he got off, and I cannot for the life of me remember how the conversation got this way, but it's one of the key parts about the conversation that started to make it go sour. Mm-hmm. But he started telling me that I don't know how to rap.
This is perfect.
As a child, I grew up in a house where the Beastie Boys might have been the most of rapping that I would have been exposed to. Besides, like I listened to like early the Dog Pound album and like Snoop Dogg's like early stuff, like right before he got cleared for being accused of murder and stuff like that.
Okay.
Really old Snoop Dogg, and that's what my parents listened to, and that's like the basis of rap that they would listen to. So that's maybe all the exposure I got, mostly like rock stuff. So when this kid was telling me I don't know how to rap, I was like, yeah. I couldn't do that right now if you asked me to. And then he started doing it, and then clever, like
that's the equivalent to like in movie. He probably expected, like in movies, they'll just challenge you to like a dance off.
Yeah,
he probably expects you to be like, "Oh yeah, run that back, Turbo." The beat starts playing.
He picked the wrong kid on the playground to do that because I
like Ash Ketchum, your hat just turns.
Oh wait, you turned Eminem?
What?
You Eminem'd his ass?
No, I wish. That would have made this story so much better and less traumatizing. But so he started to rap and stuff, and he got done, and I basically said my great comeback as a first grader was like, "Oh yeah, well you don't know how to rock."
Sure showed him.
Because that's the world I came from. My parents listened to rock, and his parents listened to rap, and so. But that caused that hit him hard. He didn't like that.
Really?
It really confused me because I wasn't that affected when he told me I didn't know how to rap. So he kind of chased me around for a while because he's bigger than me. Like he was an older kid.
Yeah.
But just young. He was older than me by maybe a year or two, but definitely like older, mature wise. I'm a dumb kid who thinks you don't know how to rock is a good comeback.
Well, apparently it was because it got under his skin.
And start shredding. Like lightning starts striking him and shit.
I mean, I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit because it did get to him. He started chasing you.
Yeah, I guess
pissed him off.
So
Tommy Morello.
that would have probably solved the problem. You probably would have backed away in respect.
Oh, Rage Against the Machine, bro. I love you guys.
So. But he chased me around, and eventually he ended up like attacking me, punching me, and he pushed me down. And I was there with both of my brothers, but there were so many kids that this kind of confrontation between these two small kids, nobody was watching.
Yeah.
And so I just keep trying to get away from him and like not talk to him. And obviously I wasn't going to say anything about rocks anymore. And eventually he got on top of me, and he wasn't choking me like I was on the ground, and he was like, of course, over me with his hands like on my chest, kind of like around my clavicle. Yeah. And it had just started to press down, and I was like, "You're choking me," which gave him the brilliant idea to actually start choking me, which is funny when I say it like that.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And if I can think about one sentence in my life I have regretted uttering, I think it might still be that one. I think all of them I was like, if it still ended well, it was totally worth it. But this one was not, because he liked that idea, and he slid his hands up to my throat and actually started choking me. And this was it's still a crazy thing for me to even talk about, because there's a like
how old were you? 18.
I'm pretty sure I was a first grader. I might have been a second grader. I don't really remember how old you are in that age.
Okay, 18. That's.
Oh God, Matt.
Is nobody
I'm so
else
sorry.
18? Is nobody else 18 at first grade? Skipped a couple of grades. No?
More like Billy Madison, right?
I was pulling. I'm like, yeah, this is my 40-year-old cousin.
But
so this is I can't really put into words how crazy this was for me, because looking up at him was the first and I think genuinely the only time I've ever looked at a face that thought about killing me.
Yeah.
I mean, he was pressing into my throat as if like it was a dodgeball and he was going to throw it, like he was giving it his all, and it was hurting more because I gave him the idea. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't like when he was choking me, I was like, oh fuck, he wasn't choking me, but he is now. And have you ever been like in a chokehold where you kind of went unconscious or got close to it? Have you ever been close to that like that?
Not what you're just like roughhousing with like my dad or his buddy or something.
You never had someone like go a little far and put you in like a
yeah, they were always like they were aware like I'm a kid and they weren't gonna put me out.
So have you ever had anything like that? Like have you ever seen like the black come in around your vision?
Yeah.
And then
I've gotten that from like standing in the sun too much.
Just hear kind of like a ringing, a white noise.
Well, mine was from like me and my best friend used to I guess spar. It's more like body box. But we would go full on ground too. It's like UFC, except we're not hitting each other in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the only rule. No hitting the head, no hitting the nuts. Both off. No heads. Okay, no heads. So that's what we did, and he's a wrestler, so he's always more comfortable on the ground, and so we would get on the ground, and he'd just monkey his way around me and just slip me up in a anaconda in a...
Was he nice? Did he let you like tap and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
As soon as I tapped, he let go.
But did you ever let it go that far? Like you started to see that, like you were having trouble seeing, and like you heard that ringing in your ears. And...
Again, the competitiveness.
Yeah,
I wanted to keep going.
I see that. Yeah.
But I was like, I can't get out of this. Fuck this.
So what happened? How'd you get out?
So I really can't begin to tell you how frightening, like the look in his eye still is.
Yeah.
It's burned in my face.
You thought he wanted to kill you.
And he was so sweaty, and it looked like something out of a movie. Like if I could capture this in a movie and look anything like it looked in my head, I think I'd be a successful filmmaker, because it looked like the most scary last thing I could probably ever see as a little kid like that.
Yeah.
And the last thing I did see was vision closing in, kind of coming from all sides, and then the last thing I saw was my oldest brother Jake just completely like almost slow motion, just boo in the cheek, and he just goes flying like an anime character off of me. I shit, because my brother was at least 14, 15 at that point.
Yeah. Okay, so he was probably bigger than
way
that
older
kid.
than this kid, and he trashed this kid.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah. Which Jacob,
your endgame moment.
Yeah, Jacob and I had gone through different like humps throughout our life where we're really close and then we're not close. We were really close. At this time was not one of our closer times, but after that we kind of became close a little bit, because once he just saved my fucking life. And then his brother stepped in, and there was just a bunch of all the kids seeing what that happened, and they all come together and a bunch of pushing, and anyway they got me up and I left. But the thing about this story is, years later, I'm an assistant manager at a grocery store, and
Ivy.
Yeah, and there's a girl that I went to school with, and I've known her because of that, and she worked in like our kitchen, like cafe area.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend started one day working in the pharmacy. He's going to deliver medicine to old people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was him. And he showed up, and I just saw his face, and like I can't explain the weird feeling that went through me.
Did you know immediately who it was?
I will never forget that face in my entire life.
PTSD.
I will never forget that face. And I avoided him for so long, like you would imagine, because I can only imagine. For my side, I almost got killed, right?
Yeah.
He was choking me. I saw his face trying to kill me, right? But for him, he was choking a kid.
Yeah.
Until he turned blue, and then he got his shit rocked for it. how do you not also remember that, right? So it's like if I run into
you would
him,
hope that wouldn't be like his Tuesday afternoon, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, I wonder what kid I'm going to choke today.
So if I run into him, I'm like, there's no way he's not going to recognize me just like I recognize him. And I don't think he's going to like go berserk and start attacking me and try to finish the job or anything, but it's like I don't even know what a conversation would entail. Like, what's up, man? Remember that time you tried to kill me? But I avoided him over and over and over again until one time I was in the kitchen because I had to go over there and like count their cash register because I was the manager, and he came over and started talking to his girlfriend, and then he turned and introduced himself to me, and he was the most proper, the most like well put together, calm, sweet, like and both him and his girlfriend very religious, because I knew she was religious before. And then when I saw them together, I was like, well, that doesn't really fucking add up because you're dating the devil in my mind, because he tried to kill me.
Right.
But then he was, there's no way it wasn't a different person, because his brother started coming in.
And it was the same brother.
It was the same brother. And that's how, because if there was a moment of time where I was like, maybe I'm just going crazy and I'm seeing people who look similar,
and like they aged, and
I'm gonna come out of my face and be like, you tried to kill me, to someone who didn't, then I'm gonna get locked up in the loony bin. But then his brother came around, and it's like they stand next to each other, that's definitely him. That guy definitely choked me. And he never recognized me. He never, I don't know if he does remember it, or if he does, I don't think, because I obviously looked a lot different. Well,
okay, but I saw that picture that you sent me of like the Easter, or the video of like you as a little kid.
Yeah,
I could still see features of your face. Yeah, you were 3. You weren't even, but I could
right,
see that. And I was like, that looks like John.
Glasses. I had different haircut. I'm older. I slimmed out. You changed.
You recognized him though.
Yeah.
The same amount of time has passed. He should have recognized you. Maybe he did, and he was just
he didn't change that
I hope
much.
this guy
his
doesn't.
haircut didn't really change. He was pretty much the same person he was before.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I've had situations where I feel like I've wronged someone like forever ago, and I know I remember it, but I'm like, I think it'd be weird to bring this up, especially if they don't remember it too. So I'm just gonna act like I never knew him. It's not like these were people that I was friends with for years, but like little interactions, I'd be like, I think this was that person from that one time where I was kind of a dick, and I'll just be like, I pretend like I wasn't, like that never happened. So maybe it was just something like that, or he didn't know if you, hey, remember that time I tried to kill you? He wasn't going to do that to you.
No, and of course I think about that, or I did eventually. I kind of came to terms with, like, why would you, if I had done something terrible like that, no matter, I don't know if any amount of religion could convince me to, like, just go up to that person, eventually seeing them.
If either of you were to be the one to bring it up, it should be you.
Like, an okay amount of character, but I don't have that kind of character to kind of, like, seek them out to be like, I did this horrible thing to you and I think it should be righted. Like, it depends on what it is, but something like that with that amount of distance and time, it's like, it just didn't, it made sense, because I wasn't going up to him either. But we had slowly started to talk to each other, and this is the kind of guy who says, like, God bless at the end of every conversation when he goes to walk away. And
one of those. It's
kind
of annoying.
Yeah, a little bit annoying, but like,
especially knowing what he's done.
To me, it's very welcomed. I'll take that version any day.
Really?
Yeah.
That does sound like a repressed memory. That sounds like something you would repress over, like, I can't remember the other story you told just now.
I hadn't thought about it since then, and then I hadn't thought about it since it happened.
Yeah.
So, but that just jumped back in my mind, and it's like, not only did I remember all that, I remembered that I forgot it, and that kind of freaked me out. And then I realized I never talked to him about it. I never was like, hey, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember this. And basically one of the main reasons I brought this story up is because I wanted to tell you that story, but I also want to ask you, do you think you have anything close to that kind of, like, because, like, I'm not mad at him. I don't think he's going to try to kill me, and I certainly don't blame him for what he did. So do you think you have that level of forgiveness with anybody, any living human being on the planet? Do you have, like, what's your biggest, like, what's the biggest thing that ever happened to you that's like, I didn't think I could forgive this, or I don't know if I ever will, or I did, or do you have anything remotely like that?
Caroline, but that's not nearly, I didn't almost die.
Right, but it's a big thing.
Yeah, like a year of just, like, awful relationship stuff where I knew that I was in the wrong, and I knew that but I didn't feel like it justified all the things that happened between us and the things that she did to me. But I definitely when we ended up splitting, I didn't think that I was ever. But like I said, that's not nearly on the same caliber. That's not the same level at all. This is like a shitty 1-year relationship is so different, so different. You met her at a baseball game, a softball game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a relationship like that is nothing compared to almost dying.
Yeah.
You know.
And I don't carry myself at all as like I have a near-death experience kind of person. You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
Because that's almost like bullying. It's just something that like I forgive him so much that I'm very glad that is just like the booger memory is just one of those stored away to where like it just doesn't carry that much weight that it needs to make a difference in my day-to-day or how I interact
what's the point
with other
of
people.
Living with that and being like, oh, and letting it weigh you down. You know, oh, poor me.
I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive I will never have another conversation with someone about rap that will end in them trying to strangle me.
No promises.
Yeah, let's find out.
No, I'm joking.
Might get hit with some form of hammer. Whether it be ball peen,
or Matt.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
That is
hammers.
Yeah,
that's heavy, and but it's heavy to me only in the sense of like, in hindsight you almost died, but it's not like something. I'm more surprised by the fact that I'm not holding on to it more. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm not getting over. Just crazy, but
it's life, man.
I have an amazing ability to forgive, I guess.
He's right. That's life.
That's life. Man.
That's what all the people say.
Yeah, you're riding high in April and
shot down in May.
So obviously this episode's gonna be called Funky Monkey.
Oh, it's gotta be.
Brass monkey, that funky monkey.
Do either of you guys have anything else you want to touch on here?
Yes, one thing, because I said I would get to it later.
That's what I was hoping to segue into.
We can't close this now, baby. We're just getting to the goods.
So we're getting back to people talking shit about me.
Yeah.
Okay? Specifically Trevor.
Right.
So in episode 4,
I
think it was about 20 minutes in.
Was it episode 4?
It was episode 4.
Was it?
I went back to the DMs and checked.
Okay. I was trying to think, because I thought episode 4 we were sitting. I remembered.
Episode 4 we were sitting right across from each other.
Yeah. Because episode 4 you guys were talking about how to get your podcasts onto Spotify and basically all the streaming services.
And John telling
podcasts.
me I don't need to do that because we're amateur and don't deserve to be there yet.
Just trying to be humble.
See, number 1, I'm going to flex on you guys a little bit.
Here we go.
Flex
Not
away,
only is my
friend.
music on Spotify and all that good stuff for music services, my podcast is on all services.
Right.
Up until episode 6, and after that, I've been having problems with the thing. But
it's a real flex because Spotify. That's like he's Joe Rogan level. I mean, that's a Spotify
$9.2 million
exclusive now.
Yeah. Anyways.
Are you quaking yet?
Anyways, you were essentially saying, I can't even.
It's okay.
Quote
I
this
remember.
off the top of my head.
I have it screen recorded in my phone.
Oh man,
it's from forever ago. But I think I said something to the tune of like, because he was like, we don't deserve to be there. You know, we can just sit here and live on YouTube forever, or maybe not forever, but
forever.
Right, but you were talking for a long time, and I said I don't want to end up. I think I remember the exact quote. I think it was, I don't want to end up like Matt Hamm3r, my cousin who makes shitty rap music and puts it out, and I don't remember what came after that, but I think that was the bulk of it.
Yeah, that was the bulk of it. Like, I wasn't mad whenever listening. I was like, oh, that's funny, that's good.
Oh, yeah, you messaged me about it, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Whenever I feel someone at least wants to talk shit about me, I'm one of those people that likes to confront them about it.
Sure.
But I want to do it in a respectful way. Obviously, I wasn't mad.
You're not going to choke me.
No. Nor am I going to hit you with my fists. I'm pretty sure I'd lose. He has some pretty big biceps.
I don't know. I can't fight with him. I can't use him.
Just weigh him down. You have the moving capability of like a Power Rangers villain.
I'm Sloth from the Goonies.
But anyways, like I said, I'm not mad, But essentially, I heard it. That's what I was trying to get across. I'm not mad. And you're like, no, I was just doing it to make a point. Ironically, about 2 minutes after you sent me the message, because I hadn't seen it yet because I was working, you had sent me I was doing it essentially just to exaggerate the point.
Yeah.
And then just in my head, I was like, you know what? I need to write something, because I was starting to formulate some words in my head. And I was like, you think that my music is shit? I don't think you get it. I was
really?
Like, yeah. And then I was like, that's good. I start writing. So during my break, I'm writing that all down, and then I totally fucking forget. I'm like, oh wait, Mikey texted me, or Trevor texted me. I check. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's fair. I'm not mad. Still not mad. But like
in the middle of writing a hate rap.
it's not even hate. It's essentially just saying, you think that my music is shit. I don't think you get where I'm trying to go, or what I'm trying to convey. Essentially, I know I don't even get, cinematography and all the stuff that you guys do for...
Well, it's two whole different fields. It's not a big deal. There's a lot that I don't get about your music, sure.
Yeah, that also
the music making process
can go hand in hand.
Not to mention, we're no Tarantino.
Yeah, no Tarantino.
Did you see Liver? Ooh.
I haven't seen any Tarantino film.
Oh,
I feel bad.
Well, you should check out Tarantino's 10th film, Liver, I Hardly Know Her.
No, it's ours. He's joking with you. But go on.
So, like I said, I don't think you get what I'm trying to convey message-wise. Essentially, what I was trying to convey message-wise before I started actually getting good.
Yeah.
Now, I would say Calypso is the mark of where I start to get better. I start to understand what I'm good at writing at, but that ended up being released with Calypso. But I was like, this motherfucker. There's just some parts in your head. You're like, I'm not mad, but this motherfucker has the audacity to talk shit.
I wouldn't call it talking shit.
No,
I wasn't dwelling on it. There was no part of me that was like, I hope he fucking hears this. I dare him to do something. But
no, I like, even in that song, it wasn't anything to be really mad about. It's just saying, you think that my music is shit. I don't think you get it. I'm turning my rage into something better, or I'm turning my negativity into something positive, or I'm not even changing. I'm spreading more positivity.
Right.
That's what I want to do with my music. Is even though I may be talking shit, some people.
That's Hammer with the 3, right?
Yeah. Well, no, that's Calypso.
Oh, Calypso. Sorry.
And then
keep up.
Yeah, come on.
There's 3 of them. Give me a break.
But essentially, even if I am talking shit, sometimes people need to hear that. You know what? I need to hear someone talking shit so I can get pumped.
Sure.
Like that's what I see with people talking shit. It's like, oh, that's something to get me pumped. That means
motivator.
Yeah, a motivation. I don't ever take it to a violence level, because that's just not me. I'm not a violent person.
Sure.
So, not yet.
After you got done talking about like you and your friend would spar.
Yeah. Well, that's just because how friends get, I guess.
No, yeah.
You just get friends. You're like, fuck off.
That's not where you put your anger and everything towards. Which I don't doubt that for a second, because you and I growing up, we always were like really early on. I have like
we were pretty close for a while.
Really young. I have so many memories of us doing Spider-Man shit in like my bedroom and your house and stuff.
Yeah.
And if as someone who knows Spider-Man probably just as well as I do, there's no doubt in my mind that you're like, that's not the way to go. You know,
it's
with values.
No, it's just, to me, if you go violence, it's kind of dumb in a way.
Yeah.
I don't want to go super far into that, but I'm just not a violent person. I want to talk to you about it. I would much rather talk it out than actually throw fists.
Yeah.
That's just not me.
Well, yeah, and that's your strong suit. So.
Yeah.
He will throw bars, though.
I do throw
Make no mistake.
Yo, all right, whenever I throw bars, I throw bars, all right?
At city buildings, like lead bars.
No. No.
So that song, it's called I Don't Think You Get It, right?
Yes.
That's the song that you made based off of him saying that. And if I'm not mistaken, that song just shot up in popularity for your Spotify, didn't it?
Yes.
All right.
How did you fucking know?
He's followed your work very closely.
Of course I follow. I mean,
I'm actually going to pull up the stat. I'm actually going to pull up the stat right now.
He was shocked you knew that.
You think I'm not going to educate myself on our guests?
In the past 7 days, it's had 110 streams.
Wow.
Out of fucking nowhere.
Wow.
I'm like, what the like, perfect segue into that, too. I was like, what the fuck? 110 streams out of nowhere. That it's just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
Especially, like, on Spotify. Because, I mean, I have a lot more, I guess, streams. It's more views on YouTube whenever I first posted my music. I have a lot more views on there, so like it's still not like, wow,
Yeah.
It's like every single time you see just a huge spike out of nowhere, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Really? Because like whenever I first released Anna, it shot up to 100 views in like a day and a half, and I was like, what the and then within 3 months, it was at 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember you posted about that one.
I was like, that is just mind-boggling to me. Like, I have no plans to like at the time I didn't have any other plans to go further on with music. Like, I don't know why I did it. Again, I hate it.
And Skin came after that, right?
Yeah, Skin did come after that. I think it was Skin, and then what do you call it? No, these were all within a month of each other. Never mind. So, but still, I was like, what the fuck, So after Anna came out with Skin, I don't remember what's in Skin. Fuck.
That was the one. That might have been your third one instead of your second one. But I remember hearing
that was my second one.
It sounded so different than it was like, I don't remember what it was about, but I do remember that it was so different tonally.
Yeah. And then the third one kind of blended back in with how Anna sounded.
And you've kind of stuck with rap since then, not gone to that like heavy. I don't want to say Nickelback feel, but that's the closest thing I had to compare it to. Was it was not. It wasn't rap in a traditional sense. It was a lot more like my skin is my armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that song.
My demons in dishonor. Now I remember it. But that like I do just want to say thank you for giving me that motivation.
Oh yeah.
Inadvertently.
Fucking trying to take credit for anything.
Well, that's what I was trying to do the whole
sit back
time.
and smirk.
I want to hear him get better. All right. Just like he's better than ever.
And you have.
That you can't
now
deny.
you're back.
He does want
better
that.
than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have. And yeah, it was a joke. I'm definitely not like, I am, stroke my own cock here, but you definitely have improved since then.
Oh yeah, it's Anna, such a huge difference.
Anna's my favorite.
It's such a huge difference to me. Like within a year by that time, it was released October 10th, 2018, and within a year, I was already, in my opinion, way different.
Yeah.
Like even once October, like 4 months later, it's 3 months later. Whenever I released a whole batch of songs sometime in December, those were all so much better, except for Fill It, which in hindsight was totally dick. That was so
Total
bad. I wanted to cry.
I'm going to use that.
It's just totally dick. Not good dick, like...
Right. Because that
like
exists
yours.
to you.
Yeah. Like the ones you're used to.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I'm sorry.
I don't care.
To be fair to myself, though, I was never... When I called your music shit, I was definitely not talking about the messages, because you sing about very serious stuff, stuff that, like, I'm like, I can relate to the issues that you're having, the problems you're talking about. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
It was more about just, like, the quality of the music that I was like, holy fuck, this is tough to get through.
The mixing is terrible.
Which, like we've already established, you've come so far since then.
Yeah, the mixing and mastering was terrible then. I mean...
Do you do it yourself?
For the most part, yes. What we're filming right now, I have somebody out in LA mixing an entire 5-track project.
Wow. Is it going to be the same... what the fuck am I trying to say? Is it going to be the same song, like you lip syncing to us playing the song while we're shooting? Is it going to come off the same way, or are you going to have to like re-record it and it'll sound different?
No. So what I showed you was essentially my version of it. What they're doing, because the dude was saying, it should be easy to match it up once we get it done. If you guys get done before we're done mastering it. Yeah. So it shouldn't be too different. Obviously, you're gonna hear a lot level mic. You're gonna hear probably more effects, more reverb, more. I don't know what else. I obviously I don't know what they're doing, but I'm excited for it. It's one of those things like I've come so much farther than I was less than a year and a half ago. Yeah. Which still, again, just mind-boggling to me, like to think, wow, on my first song I somehow made it to 1,000 streams. Right, and that's
nothing compared to the one that we're shooting for.
No, this is so much better. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. Like everything in this little 5-song batch, even the song that you said, yeah, let's not do this one, I think is still so much better than Anna. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because it's more of a matured state of mind, and also a lot more practice. And
I was just talking to Dylan last night. Dylan, who's been on the podcast before, and him and I were sitting on these couches that are right next to us, and we were talking about as long as what you're doing is better than the last thing you put out, there's no, as long as you can acknowledge that you just put something out and you're like, all right, the next one's got to be better. Then there's no failing. You're always on that uphill incline, and it's the day that you put something out and you're like, that was not better than the last thing that I did, and that's when you really got to step back, reevaluate yourself.
Like whenever I started writing Tales from a Misfit Volume 1, I was like, you know what, this is trying to catch a vibe of some sort. And the vibe was very mixed up whenever I released it and put the tracks together. I put the tracks in kind of weirdly. I'm proud of the last song, even though the mixing on it was terrible, of the first half being Joker and then the other half being I Love You. Yeah. Which I'll get into a little breakdown of that. But whenever I was writing everything else, it just seemed so like what I wanted that way. And I think I'm more upset with how I ended up setting the set list, or the song list. I think it could have been done a lot better, because I did put Anna. That was whenever I put Anna on Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. Yeah. Just so, because people had already been asking me to put it out on streaming services, and so I finally did that. That also had reprise to that, which I'm going to call marks. That's what it's kind of parentheses in. And so during that, I was like, I guess, because it was initially not supposed to be about the first song, but once I started writing, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's take it that way. Let's do 2 perspectives. Let's do my perspective and what I think her perspective was in her head. Yeah. Which I probably... Again, I do address it in the song. I probably should have talked to her about it. I probably should have never released the song, but it is what it is. It happened. It's life, brother.
It's life, brother.
It's life, brother. That one. And then, that's the first half. It's more of I'm trying to get through this state in my mind where it's more of regret of this song. That's where the first half of Tales from a Misfit was, and then the second half was more of a storytelling aspect, where I went more into how this just to cover my ass, I wrote in. I found this paper. I don't fucking know.
I asked to touch her. She said no.
No. No.
I said, can I get closer? She said yes. If you don't write a song about that game now, I don't know what you're doing with your career.
I will. It's probably going to be a podcast thing. Yeah. Anyways, I whenever I started writing Tales from a Misfit, I think it was, It was, or Tales of a Misfit. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. Shitty fucking Matt Hamm3r.
You'll decide it one day.
Yeah, I'll decide it one day. It's one of the two, okay?
The beauty of being
the actual, like, title track of the entire project. It was how this relationship turned sour, where this character, Justin, got drunk and was very abusive to his girlfriend, Alice. And it doesn't go too deep into it. It's more of just, like, touching on it and doing a little...
Sure, yeah.
Like jabbing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's jabbing right now.
Yeah, I'm not going in full force. And then I think it was like 2 songs later, Supreme came in, where I just fucking threw my weight full in on... Because Supreme is essentially saying that we're not the most supreme animal race because, like, we're not civilized. Which I think right now it's really holding up pretty well.
Yeah, I guess I can see that, yeah.
But it's like, we're not civilized, so that's why I don't think we're the most supreme animal race.
What do you think is the most supreme animal race?
I don't know, but I'm fucking terrified of that thought.
I don't know.
Velociraptors.
I think it's evolutionarily like a fact that we should be terrified by that thought.
Yeah,
something like, stronger and better and smarter.
Like, because like,
more civilized.
It's hard to put your mind around.
Like the lightsaber. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's hard to put your mind around, like, what's the reasoning why this person went and shot up a school. Because that's what initially kind of got me writing for Supreme. It was way before I started, like, actually recording music. I wrote that song.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Let's save this for another day. Because initially, whenever I first started, I just started writing poems just to get my mind off of stuff, just so I could, I guess, relieve myself, like I said earlier, of, like,
I do that a different
the stresses.
way, but
yeah. Yeah, just, I don't beat my dick, okay? just relieve myself of the stress.
It was a good writing exercise, at least, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, I've never been good with writing anyways. I was always really good at math. So whenever I was like, you know, fuck it, let's do it. But Supreme, it was a different thing, because, like, I wasn't just jabbing it. I was fucking
all in.
I was balls deep.
Nice.
I stopped jabbing and I just went balls deep.
Could not go any closer.
No. But, like, I think it holds up well today just because of what's happening. Like, it's more dealing with supremacy. No one's really supreme.
Yeah.
Nobody is.
Amen to that.
Nobody is supreme. That's just a fact in my mind.
Yeah.
No matter what. So it goes to Joker not too long after. And Joker / I Love You. Joker is obviously, it's about Joker because I had just seen the Joker movie.
Oh, okay.
And I was kind of, I saw it. I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. I just saw it and I was like, you know what? I want to do more of the Killing Joke Joker. Yes. Wow. I'm just really setting him up.
Yeah.
Where he, and kind of like Arkham, I think it was one of the games in the Arkham series.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. One of the games in the Arkham series where Joker fucking whaps Robin, or one of the Robins, with a fucking crowbar.
Jason Todd. He nearly kills Jason Todd, and
yes, and then he becomes.
They played the storyline in the Arkham Knight. Yeah,
it's then he becomes Arkham Knight.
It's a stolen plot line, but anyway.
but that's where I kind of got my inspiration for that song was, but it's a huge contrast to what follows it, kind of with more of a sped up beat of how it changed, because it changes right at the end of Joker into a more happier beat before I sped it up, and I should have did a better job of speeding it back up. But it's a huge change from Joker to I Love You. I really like the contrast in it, just because
it sounds like they should have really different messages too.
It is. It is. It's a huge.
I'd be worried if they were.
The only thing that ties it is essentially the love for something. Mm-hmm. Which is Joker's love for Batman. Without Batman, there is no Joker.
Yeah.
There's no killing joke, pun intended. Like I said, there's just no joke. But for me, it was more because I was recording it the day that one of my close friends died. A year after, to the day. It was a year after to the day that I was recording that.
Mm-hmm.
And most of that was just freestyle. It was all off the top of my head. And it was so deep to me because, it's hard to imagine, losing one of your close friends when he's only 18. And it's just a scary thought to, I could just drop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And just not be here anymore. And it's more scary because, I don't know what all happened, and nor do I want to. I mean, I probably should know what happened,
right?
But I don't want to know just because it preserves that memory. Because I don't want to have something be proven that I thought of first, or because that would tarnish the memory of him. So I want to keep that memory of him good rather than something he did and passed away from. But that was really hard for me to really decide. I was like, should I put this out? I sat on the entire project for an extra month of just, I was like, should I release this last song? Only the last song. It was only the last song I was really worried about. And I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And that's probably one of the more proud songs I am.
Yeah.
Or one songs I'm more proud of just because of the huge contrast in it and also just the message behind it. Eventually we're all going to be whatever, or we're all going to be with each other in whatever way, whatever happens after life.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to change the whole mood. So whenever I started writing Calypso, it all started with, I don't think you get it.
Yeah.
And then as I started writing more and more, I was like, look, this is something I should be more dedicated to. This is probably something I should focus more on. I should probably kind of tone it back with how much I'm releasing.
I would disagree, because especially
quality.
Yeah, you're saying
okay.
You know,
what? Yeah. There you go. There you go.
That's what I said.
You want to care more about your projects.
Yeah, rather than just lazily throwing it together and just being happy that I'm putting something out.
Extremely respectable, and that's something that Trevor and I focused a lot on, which is why one of the main reasons we have so little to show for because we're so.
If we're going to do something, we want to do it right. We don't want
to
just put something out and be like, yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah.
But I would argue that because what I was thinking was you just wanted to cut back just for the sake of cutting back. Who's calling me? It's Josh.
He just called me.
Well, he's not going to get an answer from either of us.
Denied.
He's probably outside to come help set up lights.
He should fucking knock on the door then.
Oh well. No. So what I thought you were going for was I want to cut back just kind of for the sake of cutting back. It would be better for me and not to focus on quality. And that's when I was going to argue that, especially with the mindset that you could just drop off any day and just be gone.
Yeah.
Right now is the time to start getting out these thoughts and leaving your mark on the world. You don't want to wait till you're 30, 40, 50 years old, because who knows if you're going to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I've stuck with it. Well, I've decided to, let's elevate my career further and let's do a music video.
Yeah.
Let's get this professionally mixed and mastered. Let's actually get stuff going. I'm trying to hold back on saying a surprise.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to hold back on. Okay, I got this.
You got it.
Zen. All right. Let's try to further that promotion of Matt Hamm3r as a business rather than who I am.
Yeah.
Let's get Matt Hamm3r exposed as business perspective.
Brand.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go see if he's outside.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Well, I gotta thank you because first of all, I mean, this is our first music video too, so this is gonna be a new experience for all of us to try to get this down. But so without that, we wouldn't have the opportunity to do it. So thank you for that.
For sure.
Thanks for also coming on the podcast and talking to us. Of course, it's not like we're pulling your teeth or anything, but you know, we like to make fun of each other on this podcast.
No, I totally get it.
You're a super, super great sport about that. Trevor got a package.
Oh, he just got UPS. That's
triangle
it.
Package.
Oh, yeah, it's a poster I made for my best friend's birthday.
Nice.
But and it's a real respectable thing because I can say I hate Anna, and I feel good knowing that I can comfortably say that to you because you also hate Anna.
Yeah.
But it's also like the song that we're gonna make the video for is so monumentally better than Anna is. Yeah. I know we've beat that topic to death, but I just felt like coming back because first of all, I super respect that. Like, I'm sure you got great reviews for Anna, and I'm sure you got horrible reviews for Anna because there's the people who respect you for what it is, and then there's people who are like, yeah, nice try, kid.
It's more to me. The comments on it is all, oh yeah, this is good. It's more of like a backhanded compliment to me.
Yeah, I don't believe
those.
Like,
what the fuck? Like, I know it's terrible. Why don't you just be honest with me? Yeah. I don't give a fuck what you say. Just be honest with me.
And I love that, which is why I can comfortably say, like, you're not the greatest rapper in the world.
Oh yeah, no.
But looking at your track record, I have a lot of hope for you, and I hope that we can help you get to that point, not just with the video, but in any way we can, because we just love doing that, you know.
I hope that this elevates both of us.
Yeah,
for you guys,
absolutely.
Not only podcast wise, you guys business wise, for your guys' filming.
Yeah, JDCO.
Yeah.
But I mean, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to do. I was like, I want to film a music video because that's something I haven't done yet.
Yeah. So like, for sure, definitely, if I ever have a good enough song to
and like I was saying, extreme respect, because I think I told this to Trevor before. Like,
I know what you're gonna say.
There's one thing, like I'm sure a million people in the world have thought about being a rapper. Certainly not me in my young age, but the kid who was on the playground that day definitely thought about it. You thought about it. Trevor might have thought about it in his youth. Our neighbor probably thought about it. But it takes a real like pair to get up and be like, I'm gonna put something out. I'm gonna go the extra bound, and I'm gonna here's this sound. I might make it, I might not. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna fucking tell you how I feel, and I'm gonna write these lyrics, and I'm gonna do it. And I don't frankly give a fuck if you like it or not. You know, that's pretty much the attitude of Caps Off. Like, we have like 20-something followers, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
32, yeah, 32.
Oh, really? Wow, we're climbing.
I have a whole set.
Oh wow,
I'm huge.
Well. It's like, what, 20-something people that still are ants on a fucking floating rock in the space. So, But the point is we still love doing it. I almost love nothing more, like, hobby-wise, than to sit down at a table with this man right here and just fucking gab about shit. And I'm fully aware that not only is most of the things I'm saying not interesting or entertaining or funny, but I think the most important part is to not think about that part. I think about what it's doing for you and what it's doing for me and what it's doing for Matt. Yeah. And, really just getting the completion part out of it. And it's like, working on your brand, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
But it's important to figure out where you want to start with your brand, and that's what I love how you did that with, you got your whole like Calypso and Matt Hamm3r with the E's and the 3's and shit. You got that all figured out, so you're finding your places. And
minus Lil Meezy. Lil Meezy's kind of just placeholder name for now. Maybe
Lil Meezy can be the one that makes the song with the closer game.
That's more of just I want to talk about. That's more of your Supreme, your Tales from a Misfit. That's what I want. Placeholder name Lil Meezy to be
right.
So I kind of wanted to do like Lil Meezy Vert at first. Like I want to keep Lil Meezy for some odd God known reason, because that's what I initially wanted to have a name be. Yeah. And I was like, that's too corny. Everyone uses Lils. Yeah. No Lil, except for like Lil Wayne.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be the first.
Talks about like real shit.
Recycle through a few names either, so it's no big deal. But,
to me, like why I want to put Lil Meezy as the storytellers, because to me, from what I listen to, not Lil Meezy, Jesus, Lil Wayne is the only one that actually goes somewhat in depth about stories and about how he was as a kid in his songs. Yeah. And that's why I kind of want to keep Lil Meezy, because like it's such a contrast to what most Lils now are.
Yeah, it's all just.
It's more of just
show, lots of show.
Lil Pump,
showmanship. Yeah.
Fuck everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Peep. I love Lil Peep to death, even though he died. But
but it's all right. I was refraining from making a joke, and you made it anyway. I was gonna be like, oh yeah, Lil Peep's music, doing a bunch of drugs and dying.
Yeah, but like
goals.
Because I watched the documentary for Lil Peep.
Yeah.
And it didn't aim towards like he was only focused on drugs. It was more focused on like he wrote these songs because it made him feel happy, and he wanted to get everyone else around him as big as possible with him. That's how it was. And so like you hear that and then compare it to his music where it's I'm gonna pop this, I'm gonna kill myself, I think I'm gonna die in my sleep.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a huge contrast between him and the person. That's why like I like the idea of just having this fucking whack ass name for talking about real shit.
Yeah.
That's the fun part to me. Like,
yeah, definitely. Well, we'll let this conversation get the fuck
we
away from us.
Over an hour and a half.
So,
hoping that when it's edited through, it probably sits at around an hour and a half. So, if that's all right with you guys, we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
All
right.
Shaking up the hands. You always have to announce that part.
Because they can't see it or feel it. All right.
I feel it in my bones every single time.
Do you mind if we use one of your songs for the outro for this video?
Yes.
You do mind?
No, I don't.
Oh, so we can do that?
Yes.
Awesome. I think I Don't Think You Get It is a perfect one.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah?
That
right?
Or if you actually want to go with a quality sound, do Keep It Clean Beaches. It's only the beat. It's something I produce all by myself.
Okay.
So if you guys want to use that or I Don't Think You Get It, it's up to you. I don't really care.
Maybe we'll use one for the intro, one for the outro.
All right.
We'll figure it out. All right. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time.
Eventually.
You think that my music is shit? I don't think you get it. Looking down the barrel, I'm next. You thought I just flexed. Yeah. You thought I just flexed. Flex. You thought I just flexed. Yeah. Think that my music is shit? I don't think you get it, huh? Nah. Getting engaged or raising, just turning the page. I'm a mage looking for new ways. I'll kill everything I aim to, including rapping fast. You'll tuck it to the past. That's why I'm jumping past all you sick-minded people.